Hey guys, on this video I'm going to show you how to deal with really narrow roads and what's called meeting situations. So yeah, let's get into it. It's quite busy right now and I'm parked up by the side here. Once I join the main road, I'll show you what I mean. So make sure I check my mirrors and my blind spots. So straight away I get a meeting situation, but this one's not too tricky because this person's got lots of space on their side and I've also got lots of space on my side. So that one wasn't too difficult to deal with. And straight away I get another one, but this time I've got space and they've got space as well, but they're stopping, so I'm allowing them to do their thing and then I can check my mirrors and carry on. So there's sometimes more than one option you can use, so it's not always you have to stop or they have to stop. Sometimes there's more than one option you can use, but you constantly the key thing is to look forward before you meet anybody. So right now there's no one here, but I'm still thinking about what I'll do. So if that person came, I've got space on the left there. I already thought about it before it happened, but they're gonna turn anyway, so I'm gonna let them turn. And then this van is in front of me now. This is gonna make things a bit trickier because anybody that's gonna come down now, he's got to deal with them, and then I've got to deal with them as well potentially. So when you're by yourself, it's not too difficult, but when there's other vehicles involved in front of you or behind you, it makes it trickier. So when it's like this right here, there's no space for me or anybody to come through here, so I'm going to stick to the middle. I'm not going to go left and encourage them to come through. I'll stick to the middle. This way they know that they have to wait down here, and that way they're not going to come down the road and we won't get stuck. And whenever you're turning into a new road as well, like here, I'm going to turn left. You need to be really prepared to be the person that has to give way to people. So as I turn in, I'm thinking about anybody coming down, so like that van for instance. So if I wasn't thinking about that before, I could have easily gone in there and then I would have been in the way. I was already thinking about moving out the way for them because as you can see, there's not much room for the van or for me once I'd gone through here. When you first turn into a road, that's usually where there's a lot of space, so you need to think about stopping there if there's anybody coming through. So now this van is coming down the road. I'm thinking about if there's any spaces, but he's turning. So the mistake a lot of learners make is they are thinking that van is really far away, so I'm not going to think about it. But that's the mistake, because the more you're driving towards them and the more they're driving towards you, you're running out of time and eventually you're going to meet somewhere. So already you should be thinking about what you're going to do. Here I'm just moving a bit left so I can check before I go around, and then check my right mirror before I go back in the middle of the road. Once the road gets a bit wider, I can go to my side again because I'm turning right here, checking my right mirror and then turning in. And I can see a car coming down the road, but I'm already committed now, so I'm just going to slow down. There's a space that they could use here, but they're deciding to reverse back, which is okay. So you might have one plan, but then somebody else might decide to reverse back, which is also okay. So there's a space there, but there's also a space here, so I'm just going to wait here for them because I was already going slow. I was already stopping anyway, so it made sense for me to stop. Before I come out, check my right mirror, and if I'm still not sure, I can even check over my shoulder as well. And there's a van coming down, so I'm just going to slow down a bit. So because there's a huge space on this side, I don't go on that side, they go on that side. So I'm just going to slow down, give them space to go on that side, and then there's a car coming behind them as well. And then once they've gone past, I can then start moving, and I can see another car coming down who's got lots of space on their side, so they're going to start going that way. The more you do this, the more predictable people become. You kind of know what people should do, and sometimes people don't do the right thing, but most people do the right thing. So the more you do it, the more you realize people do kind of the same thing, so it becomes more predictable. So in these kind of scenarios, you need to use your imagination a lot. You're just constantly thinking about different scenarios that could come up, checking both sides. So I'm thinking about if a car's coming down here now, I will wait here, then they can go around me, but there's nothing there. And then now I'm imagining another car coming through or a van, and then I'm thinking about what would I do. I'll just go here, but then once I get to this position here, they would need to wait up there because there's space up there for them and there's no space down here. So we've got another car coming through. I've got lots of space here, so I can just pull over to the left a little bit, not too far left, but just enough for them to go around. I can see a motorbike coming through as well. And the mistake people make here is they'll try to go through with that motorbike there, but there's not much space there, which is why I'm waiting for them. Once they've gone past, check my mirror again and then go through. See, look how much space I'm taking up to drive properly. I'm driving in the middle of the road here. This would have been a squeeze with that motorbike, so instead of trying to squeeze with them, just let them come through and then afterwards I can go. I can see here, if I look down the road, there's no spaces that I can see anyway. So it makes sense for me to wait here for them to come this way, and then they're gonna go around me. And as I'm waiting, there's a car behind me as well. So hopefully they know what I'm doing. So I'm just gonna wait here for this car to go past. And once they've gone past, hopefully there's no one else coming through. So check my mirror, and then I can start driving, you see? So if you don't see any spaces, but then you see a huge space where you are, and there's a vehicle coming through, you can stop. Now there's a space here, it's not that big, but I probably could have gone in there, but I couldn't see it from over there. There's also a space here as well. But from where I was before, it looked like there was just a row of parked cars. So if that's the case, if you can't see a space with your own eyes, don't hope there's gonna be a space further down. Otherwise you're gonna end up in a situation where you have to reverse back a long way. So to avoid that, just stop where you can when you see a space. So like here, I'm just taking it nice and carefully. So here I'm going to turn right into this road. I'll use first gear because it's quite sharp, and it's also quite a narrow road as well. So I'm just going to go into first and then turn in, and then straight away I get into a meeting situation. I've got space here so that these guys can come through, check my mirror, and then carry on. And then here I'm going to turn left. Got my foot near the clutch. I'm still in first, so I'm just going to leave it in first gear, and then I'll turn here slowly, checking for anybody coming through, because you see at the beginning of the road there's usually a space that you can stop on, and here that car has got space. I've got space on my side over there, which is why they've stopped over there. So then I can check my mirror and go over to the left. I'm going to go slowly here, check over here, check my mirror as well, because I couldn't see around the bend if there was anybody coming through. And once I've come round here, you see there's not much room. So if I'd gone through there and somebody was there was a chance I would have to reverse back. Sometimes you might even see them afterwards, and then it's okay to reverse back, and hopefully I'll get into a situation where I can show you what to do if you have to reverse back. So like here, let's say here I've made a mistake, for instance. I can just reverse back. I'm just going to look around. Don't rush this, make sure it's safe first, and then reverse back slowly while it's safe, checking everywhere, and then once it's safe again, and then check over your shoulder and then drive on again. So you see, you don't rush the reversing back, because you don't want to reverse back into somebody behind you. You want to make sure it's safe first before you start reversing back. So you got this car signaling to go left. I think they just want to show me their intentions, but you don't have to signal left to go there in that space, by the way. You can just, as other drivers would know that you're going to go into that space, because there's only one space available. So if I was coming down this road and then somebody came here and I was trying to go into that space now, I wouldn't signal left. Also, if you signal left, a lot of people also think you're parking up, especially the people behind you. If you signal left, they'll think you're parking and they'll try to go around you. So avoid signaling left if you can.